Nightwork, a Dave Brandstetter mystery. Author, Joseph Hansen. Publisher, Open Road Integrated Media. Narrator, Eric Aust. Chapter 3. Above his raised coffee mug, Malloy squinted at him. What the hell do you mean? What's Ossie got to do with it? Ossie just got sick, Angela said. Maybe somebody made him sick, Dave said. What for? Malloy twisted out a cigarette. Paul fingered Silencio for that holdup. That's why Silencio killed him. Where does Ossie come in? He got Paul the night to work. Dave turned to Angela. What was he doing up in Torcito Canyon at 3 in the morning? What was he hauling? Who was he working for? He never told me. The bag fell from her lap with a muffled thud. She snatched it up, rummaged in it, brought out a little mirror. She touched her bruises. I'm a mess. You weren't curious about what he was doing? You said it worried you. How tired he was making himself. It paid well. That's all he said. He wanted to help my folks. She glanced at Malloy. Our folks. Dad had a stroke. He was always strong as a horse, so naturally he didn't have any health insurance. They used up all their savings practically overnight. Doctors, hospital bills. He's a carpenter, and you know how much work they've been getting lately. They were running out of money even before he got sick. What about the union? Dave said. Malloy's laugh was dry. He didn't believe in unions. He wasn't going to shell out dues every month so some fat wop racketeer could sit with his feet up on a desk drinking beer while he earned a living for the son of a bitch. Dave watched Angela apply fresh lipstick. Her hand trembled. He said, Every man doesn't feel so responsible for his in-laws. Malloy made a sound of disgust. Dad bought Paul his first semi. Started him out as an independent. Do you think he did the same for me when I got old enough? Forget it. Paul still owed him for the truck? Dave asked. He paid that off long ago. Angela closed the lipstick and dropped it into the bag. No, Dad was good to him when he needed help. Paul wouldn't forget a thing like that. Dad was in trouble. Paul did all he could. He doesn't sound like a wife beater, Dave said. He was tired and strung out. He was taking pills to keep him awake. Amphetamines. Truckers always have them. Passing them around to their buddies at rest stops. The mirror was propped against her coffee mug. She dropped the mirror into the bag now and zipped the bag closed. He wasn't mean. It was too much pressure for him. He was frantic, and I got him sore, nagging at him to give it up. He was kind and patient before. Her eyes leaked tears. She wiped them away with a finger. Ask the kids. Amphetamines can make a man edgy, Dave said. Where the hell is your county friend? Malloy was reading a $5 digital watch. Silencio will be in Mexico by now. In Argentina. He laid his cigarette in the ashtray, picked up his mug. What'd you say this deputy's name is? Salazar, Dave said. Jesus, another spick. Malloy choked on coffee. Don't they hire white people anymore? What's a guy named Salazar going to do about a guy named Ruiz? Whatever has to be done, Dave said. Angela got to her feet, clutching her bag. I have to get to work. You had better phone in sick, Dave said. I've already been off a week. They'll replace me with some other girl. I have to have that job. She unzipped the bag again to dig keys out of it. I have children to feed and bills to pay. I don't like to sound heartless or anything, Malloy said, but you've got a big fat insurance check coming. Huh? She looked glumly at Dave. Have I? Dave gave her a little half smile. Possibly. Tell me, Luella, Bishop's address. She left town. I don't know. Angela pushed open the back screen door. I don't care. I'm glad she's gone. Lieutenant Salazar will want to talk to you. Paul's dead, she said, and you say someone killed him. That's all I know. There's nothing to talk about. The screen door fell shut behind her. He went to it. The backyard was patchy, grass, clotheslines, a twiggy lemon tree, she hoisted a garage door that creaked. Tell him I couldn't wait. As she went into the garage, a car door slammed and engine started again. The motor raced hard and loud for a moment. Smoke poured out the garage door. Dave asked Malloy, "What restaurant is it?" "Cappuccino's," Malloy said. "They won't like the cops coming or to talk to her there." He made to pass Dave to go out and stop her. But the car, a 10-year-old Toyota station wagon in need of a wash, bucked backward out of the garage and rolled quickly from sight along the side of the house. It jounced noisily across the gutter out in front. Malloy ran barefoot through the house. The front screen door rattled. Malloy called, "Angie, wait!" But the car went off up the street. Dave heard it. He began opening drawers in the kitchen. Papers lay in one of the drawers, supermarket tally tapes, receipts for electricity, water, gas, phone, cancel checks, and bank envelopes, old income tax forms, property tax forms, ownership registrations for a 1973 Toyota and 18-wheel rig, and loan papers on the house at 12589 Lemon Street. He pocketed a check and a bank book. There were no slips of paper with addresses scribbled on them. Malloy came in. "What the hell are you doing?" "Looking for Luella Bishop's address. Your sister is too frightened to tell me about Paul's night work. Maybe Luella Bishop will tell me." "Frightened? Come on." Malloy opened a refrigerator door, taped with children's watercolor drawings. He brought out a can of beer. The drawings fluttered when he closed the refrigerator door. "You don't ask your old man questions when he keeps putting a fist in your mouth. She doesn't know. Why would she lie to you?" "You don't think Paul beat her up," Dave said. "It surprised the hell out of you when she said that. You didn't like him. But you know he wasn't a wife beater." Malloy pried up the tab opener on the beer can. "Then it had to be Silencio, didn't it?" And Dave shook his head. "She didn't know until this morning that he was out of prison. Anyway, what would be the point?" Malloy sat at the table and took a long swallow from the beer can. He wiped his mouth with the back of his hand and belched. "He probably came looking for Paul, and when Paul wasn't here, Ruiz beat up Angie just for openers. And she's scared to say so because he's still running around loose." He looked at his watch again. "And the way this friend of yours is moving on the case, he always will be. Excuse me. You want a beer?" He half offered to get up. "It's a little early for me." And Dave judged Malloy to be 25. He was already thick through the middle. It wouldn't take many more years of drinking beer all day to turn him to flab. "Where's the telephone?" Malloy told him the instrument set on a spiral-bound leatherette book with lettered leatherette tabs on the page edges. He laid the book open at B, but the address for Ossie Bishop was local. He flipped pages ahead, pages following. Nothing. He lifted the phone, slid the book back under it. He opened a door and saw bunk beds, stuffed animals, toy trucks, a poster of the Dukes of Hazzard. He closed the door, took a few steps, opened another. The bed was unmade. Women's clothes lay around, skirts, blouses, jeans, crushed pantyhose. Makeup and crumpled tissues littered a dressing table. He rolled open closet doors. A lone blue polyester suit hung on a wooden hanger. It smelled of dry cleaning. Did she mean to bury him in that? There were 2 tan windbreaker jackets, a corduroy jacket, brown dress slacks, some heavy plaid wool shirts. "You have to have permission," Malloy said. Dave didn't answer, didn't turn. He went through the pockets of Myers' clothes and found a small address book. Knuckles rattled the front screen door. The door buzzer sounded. Malloy said, "For Christ's sake, now what?" and went away. No new out-of-town address for Bishop was in the small book, but Dave pocketed it anyway and shut the closet. Where did Myers keep business records? Dresser drawers? Nothing but clothes. Drawers were under the closet doors, and he crouched and opened one. sheets, towels, blankets. He shut the drawer and opened the other. Papers lay there, flimsies, dim carbon copies, pink, blue, green. He grabbed a handful, stuffed them into an inside jacket pocket, closed the drawer with a foot, and went to find Malloy. Jamie Salazar was saying, "Well, there's no need to bother your sister at work. You can tell her." He was slim and dapper in a lightweight blue denim suit, maroon shirt and socks, a blue knit tie. Heat had already begun to gather in the small living room, but Salazar looked cool. His skin was smooth, pale brown. He wore a neat mustache and sunglasses. "There you are," he said to Dave. "What kept you?" Dave said. "Trying to find an ex-convict called Silencio Ruiz. Paul Myers' testimony got him convicted of armed robbery a year before last. He said he killed Myers. When he got out, he's out 2 days, and pow! Myers is killed." Malloy grinned at Dave. "What did I tell you?" "That bomb was no amateur effort," Dave said. "He could have paid somebody to make it for him." And Dave said, "Why would he bother? Silencio was a street gang member. Whatever happened to switchblade knives?" "He's disappeared. He was supposed to see his parole officer yesterday. He only slept at his parents' house his first night. They haven't seen him since. His gang has a hangout at a liquor store down by the creek. They haven't seen him either. Not since Myers' so-called accident was on the breakfast news." "What reason would he have to run?" Dave said. "If the whole world believed it was an accident." "When we catch him, we'll ask him." Salazar looked out through the open blind. Did that happen to your car here this morning?" "Giver Gardens doesn't have a red carpet," Dave said. Malloy said, "Care for a beer, Lieutenant?" "Orange Crush?" Salazar asked wistfully. "Oh, look, maybe she keeps some for the kids." Malloy went away, whistling. Pleased with himself, Salazar tilted his beautiful head at Dave. "You don't buy it. You think the wife did it for the insurance money?" "She says he beat her. It wasn't smart to tell me that. It also wasn't true. She's scared of whoever beat her. Since he's dead, that makes no sense. I think whoever beat her also killed him. Why they would do that puzzles me. But if it was to keep her from telling what she knows, it had the desired effect." "If it wasn't her, what's left for you to do?" "Life insurance can be tricky," Dave said. "Ever hear of a 2-year conditional clause? It lets the company back off if it turns out the insured lied to them. Paul Myers outlined for Pinnacle the kind of cargo he hauled. Routine machine parts, unfinished furniture, clothing, nothing out of the way. Nothing anybody would want to blow him up for. So maybe he was lying. If he was, she won't get anything. Something, not 100,000. Malloy came in and held out a frosty purple can. Salazar took a step backward and put his hands behind him. He said in an appalled voice, "Grape?" "It's all there is," Malloy said. "No thanks," Salazar said. "Thank you very much." "I'd better go," Dave said, and went. Gay Mysteries audiobooks. I think it is easy to hate a label, but a face humanizes the word. So this effort is twofold: to offer comfort to those like myself that your world didn't end because you don't fit into the view of acceptable society on both sides, and in hopes of helping those with family that are LGBTQ, that it doesn't mean we are aliens from the child they once knew. Reassure them so they can maybe be supportive at the same time, being true to their values.